floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
I can hear you very well.
Mr. Chairman, I am honored to be here. I'd like to express my appreciation to you and to the committee offering me a screen to protect my identity and to enhance my security. Good security is always a very good idea, and if this were normal circumstances, I would accept your offer. The work of this committee and this hearing is just too important. I don't want to be just a voice behind a screen. When I speak, I think the American people need to look into my face, and I want to look the American people in the eye. My name is Cofer Black. I'm a case officer of the Directorate of Operations of the Central Intelligence Agency. I served as the director of the Counterterrorism Center from the 29th of July 1999 until May 2002. Mr. Chairman, I hope that these proceedings provide the relatives and their loved ones of those lost in the horrific act of 9/11 the information that they're seeking. But we are meeting here today because of the loss of over 3,000 innocents. We provided strategic warning. Our intense efforts were unable to provide tactical warning on 9/11. We all share a profound and horrible sense of loss. Everything we do in this global war and the very real risks that we take have only one objective, and that's to defend America and to defend innocence. In this long fight, my CIA colleagues operating with me in Khartoum, Sudan in 1995 preempted preparations of Osama bin Laden's thugs to kill me. 6 years later, Osama bin Laden and his al-Qaeda are the killers of 9/11. You need to appreciate fully three factors. There were choices made for us. These choices were made for the Central Intelligence Agency, and they were made for the Counterterrorism Center. These involve the numbers of people, money, and operational flexibility. I'd like to talk about people for a minute. Before 9/11, the CIA Counterterrorism Center had as many people as maybe 3 Army infantry companies. 3 infantry companies can be expected to cover a front of a few kilometers. Our Counterterrorism Center is responsible for the entire world and all the terrorist threats. It was not only al-Qaeda that we engaged. Until 9/11, Hezbollah had killed more Americans than any other terrorist group. Hezbollah is also our responsibility, as are all the others. We work through the Director of Operations, which is deployed overseas. The head of the Operations Directorate will tell you, Mr. Chairman, that at the end of the 1990s, he had 25% less covert operations officers than he had at the beginning. The Director of Central Intelligence, George Tenet, did all that he could to help us out. We, of all his interests, had the highest priority. Prior to my arrival, there had been a substantial increase in our personnel. We still struggled. While all the other operating components were being cut, the Counterterrorism Center received what small increases were available. My second point, cash. This is what we used to pay for operations. At the beginning of each of my 3 fiscal years as chief, the Counterterrorism Center had enough money to purchase about 2 modern jet fighter aircraft. When I became the chief in 1999, I had a physical reality. We had less money to support operations than we had the year before. As a result, I cut all of my subordinate units, except for one, more than 30%. We survived because of the Director of Central Intelligence's support and the supplemental fundings that we received. My third point, operational flexibility. This is a very highly classified area, but I have to say that all you need to know is that there was a before 9/11 and there was an after 9/11. After 9/11, the gloves come off. Nearly 3,000 al-Qaeda and their supporters have been arrested or detained. In Afghanistan, the al-Qaeda who refused to surrender have been killed. The hunt is on. At your hearing last Friday, my colleague, referred to only as CIA officer behind the screen, was a witness before you and spoke. I think the significant point that he raised was an unprepared remark saying that he was overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed by limitless work, and he was overwhelmed by a lack of resources. Perhaps now we can say why he said this instinctively. However, even a fully staffed and supported intelligence effort will not provide comprehensive 100% defense. We must constantly intensify our offensive while at the same time supporting law enforcement and its work.